This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RuffTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Coming at you with another
Hey.
The standard starting procedure for Ruff Talk VR
Crack
is a hey.
I know. It just cracked me up.
Hope everybody's doing good today, you know? But, you know, it's Monday, which means, you know, for most of us who do the Monday, Friday gig, whatever, you know, you're starting the work week.
I want a little theme song for the news.
For Monday morning news.
Doesn't have to be a jingle.
Mm-hmm.
Just some sort of like, you know.
Well, you know, we've had a couple of people suggest, and I actually, you know, I'm open to the conversation. We've had a couple of people suggest like changing the name to be, you know, because not everybody listens on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe doing like This Week in VR or something like that, you know. But Monday morning news is a little catchy too.
Yeah, no, I like it, but I understand.
I'm open to the change, you know.
Yeah, very open. Just struggle to find a.
Yeah. If anybody's got a good suggestion, I like This Week in VR, but, you know, just drop us a line in Discord, you know, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, go join our Discord channel. That place is awesome.
We could drop it on Wednesday and call it Hump Day News.
Nonetheless, but, you know, so This Week in VR for Monday morning news, you know, we're off on our way to work. Time to start the week with at least a little rough talk. Nice and smooth vibes.
Yeah, let's change the name. Why not?
Yeah, why not? But, you know, we don't need to decide on the name right now. Like I said, I like the idea of people throwing some suggestions in our Discord.
Mm-hmm.
But like always, you know,
or email, because not everyone's on Discord.
That's true. So
I don't want to. Sometimes I think like we talk like it's only Discord.
Yeah, we also have a subreddit. We have
there's multiple
Facebook page, Instagram
YouTube,
page.
Subscribe to YouTube.
Yeah, dude.
Just directly there. Yeah, someone was saying that.
Somebody commented on our YouTube last week, and they were like, I've been listening for so long, and I just found out you guys are on YouTube. Like, promote that, guys. And like, we
could mention it once in a while.
Yeah, we do record video and post all of the episodes on our YouTube channel, Ruff Talk VR, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can find us even at email is rufftalkvr@gmail.com.
Go to the website.
Go to the website.
You can actually find it all right there.
Yeah, we have a contact form. So yeah, you don't need to go on Discord to give us the suggestion, but you know, definitely open to the change. But, you know, we had PAX East recap last week with a lot of news. And guess what? This week, a lot of news. You know, starting with Eye of the Temple, a game that I always heard great things about with the PC VR version. But as we always say, Quest 2 standalone right now. You know, we don't have PC VR. So that wasn't something that I experienced. But the concept of it was cool. You know, it was like a room scale puzzle game. We were watching the trailer and you're like, well, no shit, everybody loved it. That's Indiana Jones right there.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, if I look at their illustration, at least for their advertisement,
well, you're in a temple.
Yeah, and it shows the person there and they got a whip in their hand and a little, you know, hat.
A torch, you know, then they're like running on a thing that's rolling, you know.
Yep.
Come on.
But that's what opened us. We were talking after we saw the trailer for it, we were talking like because of the graphic forgiveness we give Quest, you know, compared to like PC VR
or a PlayStation 5 or something like that.
There's a forgiveness, and people are actually, I think, pretty forgiving with a lot of things with the Quest. But you could take any old, like the first Tomb Raider, and just port it over. It would probably look even better on the Quest than it did originally. But like I said, there's all these old games that could easily come over to.
I was even joking with Laura Croft. You could even do like a nostalgic throwback and give her like the pointy boobs.
The Madonna look.
The cone tits. You know how they were like the Laura Croft. You know, when the first iterations of it, they didn't have the graphical ability to do like big rounded boobs, but they were adamant on it. They were like, Lara Croft needs to be big breasted, you know?
To me, she was like the first real
Video game sex symbol.
female, star, just crushing it. I mean, a full franchise,
People
she took grief where the developers that she did, like she created herself.
Yeah,
Developers took grief,
character.
down the road for the scantily cladness of her as the technology got better. And I mean,
That's
the
the thing.
main
It went
guy
from pointy
always-
style to,
the main guy who was involved was always questioned about, like, is there a nude version? And he's never made one.
no, that doesn't mean the communities won't. But
No, that's a different. No,
But dude, that
as
expanded-
a whole, her franchise was just
expanded into movies. You
Yeah.
know, people still cosplay Lara Croft, go for her as Halloween all the time. You know, people love the character. So I agree with you. The fact that that's not in VR is just missed money.
yeah.
Because they wouldn't, like you said, they wouldn't need to do it like,
Especially for that style, with like being in caves and stuff. And
but nonetheless, for Eye of the Temple, it's, like I said, was a hit on PC VR, or not a hit, but popular with those who played it. They enjoyed it. It was announced that it's coming soon to MetaQuest with no release date, but just that it is
this year,
Yeah, it's coming, and I'm excited for it. It's, like I said, room scale, which room scale, means that you don't like smooth or teleport, travel anywhere, or snap turn. All of your movement is done inside your drawn guardian space. So if there's something over there to grab, you walk over there physically with your 2 feet in real life, walk over there and grab it. You need to turn around. That means you are turning around, so.
you need a mansion is what you need.
No, because you think that's how Job Sim is. Job Sim was room scale.
I couldn't go everywhere in it.
You go everywhere you needed to.
Yeah, but the areas that I don't need to, I couldn't freely go to, and other people do. So how is that?
What I would say to that is that
How is that?
You just trick it, because you were going into that game with your full-sized guardian.
Yeah, but I've seen people in videos. There's no.
So
they
here's what
didn't
you
go
do.
into the full size and like the God mode, I'll call it. And then
No. What I mean is, like, so you draw your guardian size to max out your room space. Just draw it half as big, and the game will be half as condensed. I'm serious.
I've tried doing shit with games by like setting guardian,
And then you'll just walk over there and grab it.
No, there was one game we used to play, and I'm like, if I could just be higher. So I set the guardian on the bottom floor, and then went upstairs a floor and stood over the guardian, thinking that when I went into the game, I'd be like, 100 feet tall.
I just want to pull up. I believe it said 2 feet by 2 feet is the requirement, but
The minimum.
The minimum, yes. That.
But if you
Where
do that, aren't you always going to have that stupid line on the floor showing up?
If you drew your guardian too small, yeah. And
But I guess
you're-
if that's the way to do it.
yeah, which I definitely have 2 by 2. Well, I'll just confirm in just a moment that that's the actual size. But I'm definitely excited to see the release. Like, the trailer looked really cool.
Yeah, it looked fun. Looked very fun. Makes me wonder if you're going to be able to swing and stuff with the whip too.
Oh, dude, it looked like that there was a lot of interaction. So it says, 2 meters by 2 meters. Ooh, that's a little bit more. That's
Boy,
a 6
what you
by
talking
6.
about with the mate
That's
is
a-
night?
Yeah.
What the hell?
All right, that's a little bit different than 2 feet, Okay, no, but I could still pull that off. That's like, what, 6 feet?
I have no clue. I'm feet and inches,
I believe a meter is a little bit more than a yard, which a yard
They,
is 3 feet.
They have to put it on the measuring tape for a reason for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a meter's 3.2 feet. That's what I thought.
So if you told me it's,
So you need
a
about
yard, then sure. But
you need about 6 by 6, basically. So 6 feet by 6 feet. Do you think you got that in your play space? I think I got that in mine.
yeah, I definitely do.
So 6 by 6. That's actually not even.
I can go at
biggest.
least, I think, seven by 7.
So you meet the requirement. Okay,
right.
but the game looks like it's got potential. I'm definitely excited for it. And then another game that we've been, loving. We haven't gotten around to fully reviewing it yet. And dude, this backlog is getting worse and worse. Even this past week, we got like 4 things to check out. But as you can see, we're not reviewing 4 games this week. I think we're going to need to do some like double features coming up pretty soon, just to like, get these off the checklist, because it's killing me not having the reviews of them out. But like a game like Aspire 2, it's great. It's got a great single player mode. It's got a co-op mode that's a lot of fun. Could be bigger, but it's still a lot of fun. They just added 13 new short missions to the single player mode. but also use this opportunity, to do some quality of life fixes, but say, hey, in Q2 of 2023, we're dropping more co-op content, which I think is huge. Because like I said, the co-op mode is fun, but it's like, 5 missions? So you can blow through them, a couple more co-op missions. I think that's going to make a huge difference for the game, but it's cool to see that they're even just adding more little fluff content, 13 short missions. That game is fun too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
terrible at it.
I always enjoy when developers add to the existing, because I don't care what the game is. I'm going to go back and I'm going to freaking play it.
It's the easiest way to get you to pop back in. You see update available.
I already own it.
And it's like, speaking of like that, I hate to jump right off of Aspire 2, but we haven't done our review of it yet. There's a lot to talk about with it. Iron Guard VR, one of our favorite games. This is
Tower defense.
Dude, there's not enough of these, especially this style.
There's really, well, now there's more than one, but there's still probably count them all in one hand.
And like, there's other tower defense games in VR that do kind of like, they try to bring something new to the genre of tower defense, which is cool and everything, but Iron Guard is, for all purposes, a traditional tower defense game. The only like funky aspect of it, it's not even that funky, is being able to shoot with your hand. But other than that, it's just a traditional.
Yeah, you get to help in the fight instead of just watch it go down,
which makes sense for VR. Give you something to do the whole time, just click your trigger a bunch. But
which you can't do because it'll overheat your gun.
Yeah.
So. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just trying to be technicals over you.
No, well, you went right back into it because they just pumped out an update, for an endless mode. And the way I interpreted that statement was that they're adding like
another level.
Yeah, like an endless map.
Level. Yeah.
But then you went in and you went, no, dude.
Yeah, it's every level.
You can make every level endless mode.
With a scoreboard for every like global. Of course, you can see your friends too separately, but a leaderboard.
Well, because that's something that I think made Iron Guard great with replayability is every level had 3 stars, and then you had a global leaderboard for that level. But now what you're saying is that they have a separate leaderboard for each level just for endless mode.
Just for endless mode.
So, dude, the replayability potential there.
Oh, it made me so happy because
you're a horse.
I still go back to it now and then just because I freaking love it. And kudos to the players because. How long? I mean, honestly, on some of the levels, I've always been on the leaderboard.
No, you're a whore for making sure that you stay on it too. Sometimes you'll go in not even to play just to make sure that you're on the leaderboard still. I'm good.
On level 1, I'm now like 13.
Oh, so it's slowly going down?
I think on level 10, I think down to like 30 or some shit. I'm like, that's kind of cool though, because
that means people are beating you.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's a game that we reviewed on App Lab, but then this past year it went
and
to the
guess
official
what?
store. What?
They have a blue check mark too on their
for top rated or top selling.
Top something.
I believe it's top rated.
Dude, every single App Lab game that comes to the store is almost. It's just weird because you look at them with the official in the comparison to games that are on the store that don't have that. They're not top rated. They're not
Dude,
hats off to them for that.
Yeah, to go from App Lab to the official Quest store, these are like, these aren't like 7th round draft picks. These are number 1 draft picks. These are like led to college and stats type. If we're gonna make like a sports analogy, like, dude, these are the cream of the crop. If you're getting noticed by Meta to graduate from the App Lab
they're the
store,
cream of the crop in the store too. So that's what makes it even more incredible. Is like, I wish there was a better rating system, I guess, for App Lab. So you could really understand the breakdown better because it's, let's be honest, the review system kind of doesn't work in favor, but they have the real data of all the downloads and how many people bought that particular, because they can say like, oh, this company made $25 million last year. It's like you have all that info. So if they tied that into just the App Lab side, so you could see like,
well, what I think slows down reviews too is like, so how many people are going to go into their phone app later and then review it? It's like, if I hate to say this because pop-ups aren't the way to go, but if you could review the game inside of the app, I think that you would see a lot more
like
game reviews.
Loved it. Great.
Or just, 5 stars and then, hey, do you want to add a message? And then you can type it in. and then it would submit it to the store in your profile. I don't see why developers aren't allowed to integrate that type of thing into their game. And I think that you would see a lot more people review it because, like I said,
Maybe.
how many people are going to go?
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of effort to go.
Because let's be honest, I mean, just based on App Lab reviews for games, there's some great games, but if you went by just their, the lackluster amount of reviews it
again,
has,
who's gonna
you
go
might
in the
not be
app?
willing to sit there and give it a shot. If you're like one of those who's like, well, I want to know how it's like, wow, this game only has 4 reviews. I'm not, I'll wait and see what happens. But then you get it and you're like, oh my God, this was a great game. And it's just part of that low end review system.
Well, again, because like I said, it's a lot of steps to do the review. Even if developers didn't do a pop-up, because pop-ups are terrible. If there's like in the corner next to settings, like a review us thing, and you could click it, and then,
I just
then
think
it
a
pops up.
different rating system, not necessarily people controlled. It can be people controlled in the sense that they bought it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be honest, the actual written reviews, those can vary. We've seen 1%ers on
So
every game. So
do you have an idea of what another system could be?
again, them who have all the analytics and know what people have bought,
Like game retention score, like how many
just
players
something similar to like the rewards they give for being the highest rated. And
Now you know what they should do. Meta should have us as the official podcast. We drop our review system on every store release. We working
good luck
working
with that.
100 hours.
Oh, there'd be
So many.
in a day.
Dude, there's so much to review. But huge props to Iron Guard for their endless mode, and I agree. It is really cool to see that top rated badge on them. And then on games adding more stuff. Ghost Signal VR, a game that we've been loving. One of Fast Travel's newest releases.
Yeah.
They just did some bug fixes, some quality of life, improvements. But they also use the opportunity to say that, hey, there's more content coming. So they didn't drop more content in this update, but they are already said like, hey, the game's not done. We're adding more, which this is another one we haven't reviewed yet. We've been loving it, but I'll be the first to say, man, the game is in depth. So the fact that there's already more content coming is very impressive. It's a game not made by Fast Travel, but it's published by Fast Travel. And Fast Travel is on.
I laugh every time I hear Fast Travel now. I just laugh because it's like,
dude, they're on fire.
Yeah, they're really good at what they do, and it's like, I don't care who you are. If you come to me and be like, "Hey, Fast Travel is publishing my game," I'll be like, "Brilliant move, brilliant," because you're probably going to be in the store, right?
They won our Publisher of the Year award for 2022, and damn, they're working hard to win it again in 2023. I mean, so far they've put out Broken Edge, they've put out Ghost Signal VR, and now as well, April 6th, it was just announced that a game that, was announced a while ago, people have known it's in the works, but with no release date, Everslaught Invasion, another game not made by Fast Travel, but again, published by them. It's coming out, like I said, April 6th on the official MetaQuest store. So,
hey, you know what's messed up?
What?
I can't see if it got me thinking about Iron Guard, and I'm like, I'm curious about the rating, but for some reason I can't find the little blue check marks on nothing.
Oh, it probably just shows up when you search it in the store or something like that.
So weird. Self-checking myself, and I don't see them on anything.
Well, you know what it is? That they're in the top rated of strategy games. So if you went to strategy category for top rated.
Just want to make sure I didn't misspeak.
No, they 100% have the badge. I saw it.
Yeah.
Saw it yesterday.
I'm like, I just second guessed. I'm like, I think I'm going crazy.
Yeah, no, but Everslaught.
I think I'm going nuts.
But nonetheless, so yeah, Everslaught Invasion announced to come out April 6th. And this is a game that, again, published by Fast Travel, but it's another action adventure game in VR. So it's got some hack and slash stuff. It's got some.
What are they not publishing?
I don't know, dude. They're on fire, like I said. But this is the thing about action adventure game or action games in VR, the hack and slash, which, it's got some grapple hook mechanics and stuff like that. I've done them so much. It's single player. I think I'm good on a hack and slash single player game at this point, unless it's bringing something extremely new. But just to get me excited, this game is also co-op. You can play it 1 or 2 players. It's made for 2 players as well. If you go on their website, it's like made, gameplay for 2,
Yeah, like Drop Dead Cabin.
Yeah, or
not made for single player.
What was that? What was that flat screen game so long ago? It was like maybe like 2010. Oh man, I just had the name of it before this episode.
I don't know. You're not narrowing it down.
No,
it
was like
that flat screen?
Yeah, right. It was designed for 2 players, and you could play it just one. But the benefit was with 2. It'll come to me in 10 minutes because I had the name before.
There's
it was
game,
very popular.
It's a game I own for Xbox where you have to play with 2 players.
What's it called?
Some like prison escape shit.
Okay.
I always try to get Tracy to
yeah. I'll think of it.
Come on, just be. I don't know. They got the split screen, but you each have to do shit.
Yeah, how am I forgetting the name of it? It'll come to me in like 10 minutes. But nonetheless, so a co-op hack and slash, that's a different story. It's like, well, I'm not exactly the most excited to do it single player. The fact I get to do it with you, and there's 3 different classes in this game. There was like, it was like a rogue, a warrior, and a vanguard or something like that. And it's like, dude, so 3 different classes. So right off the top, we got to pick 2 different classes. Mm-hmm. And at some point, we got to check out all 3. So there's replayability right there. And I'm always down to go kick some ass and chew bubble gum with you in VR,
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it has a little potential to be fun.
Mm-hmm. Some score.
I don't know how sold I'm on it yet until I...
Well, that's the thing, because we've done so much hack and slash, right? So it's like, but to do it co-op, I'm willing to give it a shot. And it's got that fast travel seal of approval as a publisher, so that's always good to see.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, dude, they're hustling as publishers. Huge props to them. And
it's weird. I don't think, honestly, I'm going to cut you off. I don't think they truthfully, I know we always praise them, but I'm not thinking, they're like flying under the radar to me. Like, I don't think the world's jumping up going, see what fast travel's doing? They're making some serious moves, but in the big picture. And this is only what we see coming out now. It's like we talk about whiteboards.
Yeah, who knows in 2 years?
Jesus, dude, their whiteboard must be just jacked with so much stuff. So it's like, I would put them on the radar as like if I were a developer or a competing publisher, I'd be like, you really need to be watching their moves because they're making so many freaking moves.
Well, because here's what they're doing, at least observationally.
From a business standpoint, anyways.
It seems like that they're partnering big with a lot of these indie studios. You look at the developer names that are associated with the titles that they're publishing. It's not developers that you've seen, 4 games from or anything like that. It's cool to see them give these indie developers a path to the official store with a good game.
I equate it to, they know the algorithm.
They know what works.
If it was YouTube or TikTok, it's like, if someone could sell the algorithm, you'd buy it. And it's like they can tell you what to do to go to the store. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, no, and
so yeah, I keep an eye on them. And they're just making every week, dude. It's the same shit. Published by Fast Travel Games.
Go Signal.
Hey,
kicks
this game's
ass,
coming
dude.
out. Guess who's publishing it? It's like Fast Travel Games.
Go Signal kicks ass. That's the thing about Everslaught. It's like, if they didn't have the fast travel seal of it, I'd be saying more typical hack and slash. But I'm pretty confident it's going to bring something new and exciting.
Yeah.
And with the co-op element of it, it's like, yeah, I got to check this out.
Definitely excited to try it.
Yep. And again, really cool to see these indie developers be able to showcase their talents to the masses on the official store versus being, as we were talking about, 10 minutes ago, being stuck in App Lab or anything like that. So huge props to them. I'm so excited to see it. Man, kind of a cool thing I saw on Upload VR. We had talked about Pin City last week. The game's, they were guessing 2 years away. In our interview, we actually interviewed the developers last week as well. They had an article on Upload VR come up. I was like, wow, that's cool to see them get that kind of coverage too,
Studio 217.
Yeah. Studio 217 with Pin City.
217.
Man, and Shoes in our Discord checked out the game, and he had overall positive things to say about the potential of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's
2 years away,
out, so it's like there's no real.
That's important to make clear.
To me, it's like if something has potential, then the finished product should be. If they can figure out the physics and all the different courses. They're not courses, bowling alleys, I guess, bowling lanes. I equate them to courses just because of that walkabout type feel they got
comparison.
going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah, that was just cool to see them get, we got to interview them. Then they had a little feature with Upload VR. That's cool.
That's the beauty when there's only like 5 or 6 VR companies at an entire convention. It's like, well, you're going to get a lot of crossover coverage.
Yeah, if you go there, they were probably going to notice you.
I guess I'd be more disappointed if they were there and didn't get the coverage.
That's actually a good point.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's different if it's, 250 vendors and they're all VR. It's like, I get it. There's not enough time in a week to get all that coverage.
Yeah, like GDC apparently had with all those. Good luck.
5 or 6 and you chose not to talk about somebody. It's like,
and here's the thing. They were really cool people too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Extremely cool. So it was cool to see them get that coverage.
Good friendship. They've been working together for a long time. They both got, they'll talk about it. They got different backgrounds and life experiences. And
I think they're onto something with the direction of the game too, in terms of aesthetics, feel, gameplay. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be a hit.
Continue with it. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm assuming they're going to because they made some personal investments to be at PAX. And
I was going to say they showed it off at PAX. You don't exactly get invited with a free booth, to my knowledge.
But there are, just like any other company, it's like life things happen. And yeah, they have a game coming out in 2 years, but anything could happen to either one of them in 2 years.
Something like that, yeah.
They could be like, hey, I'm not going to continue with it. Or
yeah.
So I hope that we do get to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, so much coming this year, even this month. March was popping with games.
I want my damn Ghostbusters, man.
Dude, I'm already excited. I know that game's just gonna.
I was all enthusiastic the first time we talked. Like, Ghostbusters song.
Well, it was supposed to come out at the end of last year. Now we're already a quarter into the year, but I'd rather wait and have it be good. Yes, but I'm fully expecting when that game's gonna be released, it's gonna be like a announcement and then released next week.
Which, on this side of the fence, scares me a little. Because every example I've seen of this, I'm not necessarily.
What gives me faith is that they have end dreams attached to it.
Well, yeah, that's another studio that doesn't
mess around. Yeah, no. So I have a lot of faith with them in that regard. If it wasn't them, I'd be a little bit more nervous. But I get what you're saying too. Silence is not GTA. What's going on? Silence is always worrisome.
Well, no, I'll put Rockstar. They're different. They truly are Rockstar.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Yeah,
all the time.
That's but
conceptually, Joe, silence is worrying.
Grid Legends is my example.
Yes,
but or modern day example. Well,
check this. Gambit is a 4-person co-op shooter game with extremely mature themes. I love it. I've been so excited for this. In fact, when they showed off the trailer at Oculus Connect last year, or Quest Connect, whatever the hell they called it last year. I don't know where the branding was at that point.
I call
when
it
this game was showed.
The show they show shit.
Yeah, but nonetheless, they showed off that Gambit was coming, which is made by the same developers as Zero Caliber, which we just talked about last week. They just pumped out an update for Zero Caliber, so it's like this is a very good studio that doesn't abandon games. I've been so excited for Gambit. We knew it was coming this year, and they just announced last week that on April 6th, this week, the game is coming out. Dude, I'm so freaking excited. Like I said, 1 to 4 player co-op shooter. I call this After the Fall's biggest competitor now because After the Fall dominated that style of game. There wasn't really any other 4-person, clear a mission type shooter with that type of replayability. And the thing that Gambit brings to the table is, man, they're not leaning to a teenage audience or anything like that. You watch the trailer, the 30-second trailer that they posted, when they announced their release date last week, and the opening line is, something like "time to not fuck things up this time" or something like that. It's like they're dropping an F-bomb in the first 3 seconds of the trailer.
The first thing I thought was the kids are going to love this shit. I swear to God.
Oh, 100%.
When I watched the trailer, and
it's going to blow up in high schools.
I'm going lower than that, dude.
Middle school?
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Like, about Gambit?
It's going to be some legit squeakers.
But dude, I think the game's going to... I'm trying to not hype myself up too much because anytime you overhype yourself, you're going to be disappointed. That's a fact.
No, there was a wave of hype when they announced it.
Yeah.
It was one of the...
To be honest,
one of the stars of the show.
But now it's kind of floating under the radar now that release is coming.
There's so much going on.
That's the thing, man. 2023, when Meta says that they have 150 games in the works under Oculus Publishing, I don't think they're lying, man. Like this, there's so much shit that's come out this year and good stuff. And like we're talking about, Everslaught, Ghost VR, Eye of the Temple coming this year. Now, Gambit coming this week. At some point, Ghostbusters. Oh, a new headset.
Makes the marketing of the individual games now a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I think it's taking more and more to stand out on the official store, whereas being on the official store used to be just almost a guarantee of traffic.
Huh.
It's not the case now.
I am an amazing singer when it's a room of 3 singers.
Yes.
You know, you put me in a room of 1,000 singers, I ain't a good singer no more.
No,
so it's going to be an interesting. I think it's going to be good and bad for a lot of different companies and people.
Well, remember when we talked to Chris Pruitt last year? You know, he had said a big thing that that they wanted to see is that games can survive without meta. Like that's something that they want to take in consideration.
You have to. Every game has to self-market.
And I think that they knew that this day was going to come with the Quest store. That right now you guaranteed that push just by the official Quest store, but that's not going to be the case anymore. So they don't want by guaranteeing a game knows how to self-market. It's like, okay, you're going to do well when the store is much more saturated.
I think the key is that build up to the game. And this is now, because a year ago I probably would have disagreed with this. But more onus on really letting people know it's coming. Like Survivor VR, Survivor Man VR.
Floating under the radar right now.
Yeah, but they've done a great job of keeping you
updated along the way.
What's going on. This is what we're doing. This is what we're filming. Yeah. I'm curious when it's coming, but it's sometimes I see shit and it's like, wow, that looks like it's ready to release. I'm like, but then I don't realize there's probably so much more going on to the game than just obviously what they've shown. So I don't know. When's it coming?
Yeah, I'm excited for that one though.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think they'd let you do the other Survivor Man where you get to go to like the Holiday Inn at night.
Oh, what was that one?
Bear Grylls.
Yeah, what was that one? What was the show name?
I don't know.
Not Survivor Man.
No, Survivor Man was Survivor Man. But I'm not shitting on Bear either because honestly, to me, when that whole shit went down and they were like, he stays in hotels, and I'm like, that's not, I don't care. He's teaching you what to do if you're in these situations. Do you think he was really walking across the mountain and fell in the fucking crevice? No, he put himself in that position. Or if you fall in icy water, this is what you do when you get
still
out.
Good info. He never claimed to actually be doing it either.
But man, they
decimated him.
They ruined him for that. I mean, he's back now. He's fine. But
I think what
short-term ruin.
It's only because on the other end, I think people tried to compare him to Les Stroud. And it's like, well, he's doing a different thing.
I think he was doing it before Les.
Les is the real
on
thing.
TV.
Yeah.
And then that's when, because remember, I think, didn't the production companies tell Les they wanted to stage it too?
Yeah, and he was like, no.
Yeah, I'm not here to stage it. I'll show you how to actually do it.
Yeah, drop me off, bro.
But Les's thing was Les's thing. I'm going to go into the fucking camp. You know what?
Just because you're not doing what Les did doesn't mean that you're
Bear
a loser.
Grylls show did like.
He claimed
I don't even think they implied hey, I'm doing this. I mean, he's got a fucking film crew with him. It didn't take a genius to know that he wasn't doing.
Again, I think he only caught heat because Les is such a badass. It's like if Les
got
wasn't
heat because he got seen going into a hotel. But I just don't get it. It was so
overblown. Definitely.
That was the early writing on the wall. That shit was about to get really weird across like the entertainment industry. It really was, because it was like that was a crazy reaction to that.
Way over the top.
Yep.
So man, very rarely do I tease upcoming interviews, but we have a sequel coming up. In the past we had reviewed Robin Mulder of 3 Pound Games. A great
Agent Mulder,
a great little studio. They had a couple months ago a new game come out called Space Dragon Unchained, which we'll definitely talk more about in a review sense on the show. But the game is just freaking cool. You have dragons as your shooting weapons. The game is badass. So we're gonna be having her on very shortly again for a follow-up interview to talk about that game.
Oh, wicked cool lady.
And like I said, we'll talk more about Space Dragon Unchained. But if you haven't checked it out, it's on App Lab. Great studio. Highly recommend checking out. It's got badass aesthetics, to say the least. You know, you were excited that they kept their movement from their previous games.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away from it.
Yeah, we'll do a full review.
I was excited for one thing that was definitely kept in.
I think that's
from our previous game.
It makes great footage
but
too.
I will say, without ruining it, I love that in typical fashion of like, remember her first game we played?
Mm-hmm.
I had that like psychedelicness to it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The aesthetic of it is badass.
You know,
dude, dragons for weapons. Just the concept of it. Imagine that meeting room.
Well, I think when we interviewed her, I think we were talking about how VR is different, how you can have like crab hands and stuff like that.
We were talking about loving that stuff.
I remember her saying something about
a little teaser about it.
It's possible she might have. I'd have to
a little foreshadowing,
but I'll be damned. Maybe she did say dragons.
Mm-hmm. We had her and Cordelia on last time, so
dude, they were awesome.
Yeah, really cool studio. One. So definitely check out their game. Like I said, we'll do a full feature on it. You know, we'll do a full review, but you know, we have an interview coming up with her very soon. So stay tuned for that. You know, that'll be a fun little part too. Man, kind of on the. Actually, you know what? Let's take a moment. I don't want to get too carried away. I always love to do this. Let's give our weekly shout out for our Patreon subscribers on our, you know, on air shout out tier. You know, that's probably the best way you can help support our pursuit of going full time is join our Patreon. You know, it's pretty straightforward, but there's a lot of other ways that you can help us grow our podcast as well. You know, engaging in our Discord community, which I always tease, you know, you can find the link for in our show notes, our subreddit community, engaging with our posts on social media,
Instagram,
on
TikTok,
Instagram, telling
anywhere.
Yeah. Telling your friends or anybody that you know,
YouTube.
YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube, comment there. Like I said, tell your VR friends about that. People
YouTube
sometimes think that stuff doesn't make a big difference.
Trying to subliminal shit while you talk.
It makes a huge difference. So if you want to help see the podcast grow, you know, you can join the Patreon, you can join the Discord, interact with us on social media, you know, share the content, you know, tell your friends, all that stuff makes a huge difference for growing the show. But you know,
you preach it, brother.
Yeah,
you preach it.
But for the people who are on our Patreon on air shout out tier, which we have a couple different Patreon tiers, highly recommend going and checking that out with the link in our show notes. We have Crispy, Shoes, and Amelia. So thank you three. You know, we even get a private Patreon. We call it Patreon Champions. It's like a channel in our Discord channel or a chat in our Discord chat. But we do separate giveaways just for our Patreon people as well. So highly recommend checking that out. It's a lot of fun. But thank you three a lot. And yeah, like I said, definitely share the show around. Helps us grow a lot. You know, I was even debating talking about this next piece of news because it's Apple, which I have nothing against Apple. You know, where's my phone? I have an iPhone. I love iPhone.
You have very limited choices.
Well, they make kick-ass products. Let's be real. Like when they announced that they were coming out with Apple Watch, it was like, dude, nobody's going to want a smartwatch, but you see casual, like non-techie people have an Apple Watch. Apple is really good at getting their products.
People.
But Apple has a following. They're very good at getting their products commercialized and out to the public. So I have nothing against Apple, but it's a little bit of a running joke on this podcast about like the release of the Apple VR headset.
What, Melt Vision?
Well, the fact of the matter is,
call it.
We heard about this podcast. We heard about this headset supposedly coming out, quote unquote, very soon when we launched our podcast in May of 2023. I'm sorry, 2021. We didn't launch the podcast
in the future,
a month from now. Yeah, no, just about. Oh wow, man, we're about to hit two years in.
Yeah.
So yeah, May of 2021. Apparently, the headset was supposed to come out very shortly to there, and then it didn't. And it's always been a report of delay. It was supposed to come out in 2022. It didn't. It was supposed to come out in the start of 2023. Now there's production delays. Blah blah blah. Mixed reports everywhere. I think it's a little bit of a mythological entity at this point, you know.
It's the VR unicorn.
Yeah, but you know,
the VR unicorn.
Apple did announce a June event, and because people are so excited for the prospect that maybe we're going to finally get something. I mean, June is 6 months into the year, so we're talking the halfway point of the year. they teased for their like promo picture of the conference, like a bunch of lines above each other that look very much like a Fresnel lens. Like, you know how the Oculus lenses have those circles around them?
Yeah.
They do look similar to that. I'm not going to say that's at all enough of a thing to convince me that a headset's being announced.
The rumor mill is it's being announced.
Yeah,
in
that's
June. Yeah.
But I've heard that for 2 years. So, but you know what? I'll give them credit. It does look like a Fresnel lens.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm not buying one. I can't spend
$3,000,
$4,000 on a headset. Yeah, I'm sure $3,000 to get in the door, but there's going to be some other shit that you're probably going to really need, or else it's just not going to be worth it. Mm-hmm. So it's $4,000. Who you fooling?
Taxes and stuff like that.
But unless they're willing to take a price cut of $3,000, it's not the headset for me.
To be honest with you, though, when I saw people speculating that, I was like, you guys better hope that's not true, because if they drop a $3,000 headset,
why wouldn't they?
That has no. I fully expect them to. But what I'm saying is, if they drop a $3,000 headset that has Fresnel lenses and not pancake lenses, they're screwed. Like, I'm sorry, the Fresnel lenses for a $3,000 headset, you're out of your mind. I'm expecting the Quest 3 to have pancake lenses, and that's a consumer priced headset. You know, the Quest Pro had pancake lenses. Pico has pancake lenses. And these guys are going to use Fresnel lenses for a $3,000 headset. You guys better hope that it's not.
I think that was just poor marketing.
Yeah, you better hope
that that's the case. I think it was just somebody not knowing better.
Yeah, and it made a coincidence, and people. I don't think that the headset's being announced in June. That's my guess. I'll say that.
I do.
I'll say that.
I totally do.
Because I am typically wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised if it goes for sale the day after.
If I say it's going to come out, or not come out, but be announced in June, it's not going to be announced. So I'm going to say it's not going to be announced because I'm wrong all the time. Yeah, so if I say it's not going to come out, maybe it'll actually be announced. You know,
taking the other route.
One of us has got to be right. So yeah. I'll say this just in hopes that it actually is announced. I'm going to say it won't be announced just so, because, you know. But nonetheless, so let's see what actually happens in June. Hopefully there's no Fresnel lenses. Even if it is announced, I would love to see a $3,000 headset actually have pancake lenses. To me, that's a no-brainer, but what do I know? And kind of cool news, you know, we don't really play much Rec Room or anything like that, but
nope.
You know, the other month Rec Room put out something called Rec Room Studio, which I'll be honest, it's like a PC. You can create stuff on your PC for Rec Room, and it's like a high-level creator. Dude, things are a little bit higher graphic through Rec Room Studio. I'll give them credit. That was a great creator system that they put out. And then, you know, the other month we talked about how they were teasing, like, working on legs. So you can see Rec Rooms, they're making the investments to try to make it what I would say is better graphically. But they also announced that they're working on integrating support for full body tracking and hand tracking, which is just another thing. Like, again, Rec Room isn't the app that we ever go in, but it's cool to see that they're not just milking what they have.
Just more options for the kids to do shit.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely cool. Kid-friendly, to say the least, you know?
Kid-friendly. It's where you put your kid, apparently.
But, dude, like I said, if you ever get a chance, like, go look up some stuff on the Rec Room Studio. It's actually, like I said, pretty impressive, the potential improvements that they're rolling out with creating ability through that. So hats off to Rec Room for constantly innovating. I think there's just one more piece of news I wanted to talk about, and I hate to end on a bad note, so maybe we'll banter for a minute or two after, just because this is regarding the PSVR2. You're gonna say, again, another no shit Sherlock moment, but, you know, it came out that, you know, PlayStation VR2's sales were reportedly lower than anticipated. Couple $100,000, I think.
Yeah, I think 250,000 headset, 250.
Yeah.
250,000.
But the thing is, there's not that many PS5s in the wild. And it's like, unless you expect everybody who's ever going to own a PSVR2 to buy it on day one, it's like, well, yeah, no shit. That's not bad for a couple months in for your market size.
But I delusionally think, because I wasn't thinking they were going to crush it when this was like over a year ago.
No, that was your thing. You're like,
and I felt bad afterwards. I'm like, wow, it kind of did seem like I was maybe shitting on on PlayStation, which I'm not. It's like I'd love PSVR, but I'm not gonna spend over $1,000 and then spend another freaking chunk of change just to have the VR.
Yeah,
So it's excluded more than it's included. So no freaking way.
my whole thing I was saying is that before the PSVR2 came out, I was saying I think this is going to be a great headset with great games that come out for it, and it's going to be great for existing VR fans. But I don't think it's going to grow the world of VR. Like the Quest 2 grew VR, like it brought in new VR users. I don't think that there's going to be many people that haven't used VR that are going to now become VR fanatics and go out of the way and spend that money because of the release of the VR2 or the PlayStation VR2. I think that's for existing VR fans, and it's a great headset and great content for the existing fans, but I just never thought that. I didn't have the anticipation that it was going to rock sales either. To me, that's not exactly a surprising report. It's like when Pico sales were low. It was like, well,
I mean, I'll judge it after what I see in the holiday season and Christmas.
That's fair.
Based on initial sales, I'm not going to say failure, but you're not screaming a success right now.
Can I make
not at that magnitude?
I'll make a guess for you. The Quest 3 releasing and selling a lot will spike up the PSVR 2 sales a little bit too, because there's going to be people that are going to get so interested in VR through the Quest 3 and go, well, I already have a PS5, and then they get a PS VR 2.
I got the rebuttal for that. It's that constant argument you see taking place online with, PSVR 2 versus Quest 3 or Quest 2. And it's, yes, the graphics look a little better. It appears like on the...
I don't think a little bit better. I think
on the PSVR 2, but
it's
you already know that the next headset's going to crush that. So if the reviews are already a fight with it's not everything it's hyped out to be for the money, I get a lot of those. I've seen people posting their, this is the day one when I got it, and 2 days later it's in the return box being sent back. They're like, no.
Well, here's the thing though. If you're seeing that in a Quest community group,
you'll
see the same thing.
Of course,
you'll see the same thing from the PlayStation groups. When the Quest comes out,
it's not a Quest specific group. But you're right. Both of those sides are having the same arguments as well. So
I think that there's going to be. That's my guess. I think that the Quest 3 having great sales will make the PSVR 2 sales bump up a little bit, just because it'll increase the total interest in VR. That's my guess. I'll
go the opposite direction, but I do want to wait till after Christmas sales. But I mean,
that's fair too. That's very fair, because there's that's when kids get them.
Don't know what's going to happen from now till December, and freaking you don't know what specials and prices and deal. But I don't know, as like an adult, if you have a choice to spend $2,500 or spend $500, what are you going to spend? You're going to be like, I'm going to spend the $500.
Well, imagine if Meta does this. You ready? Imagine if they go, look, Quest 3 is announced, coming out in October, right? And the headset's going to be $399 and $499 for different data storage amounts. Let's say they do that same thing like they did for the Quest 2.
Yeah, which the assumption is
they go, we're going to go $399 and $499. But if you buy it in between October or until Christmas, basically, it'll be $299 and $399. If they did that, they would melt sales numbers.
Well,
people would be like, "Oh my god!"
If they want to punish the competition, not try to take sales from them, but literally punish them,
it would kill PlayStation VR2's
they
Christmas
just have
sales.
to take the financial loss on every headset sold from then till December,
and then up the price.
Damage in there.
Make it known. Say 2 months, it's going to be this price.
Do their damage to the the PlayStation, and then take the ball and run with it. But that's if they wanted to play a really jerk move.
If they just wanted to dominate,
that's how to do it.
Because if they did that, they would nuke PlayStation VR2 sales, and then worldwide in Europe and Asia, they would also hurt Pico sales too. It would be like, well, why would you get any other headset? Well, I can get those headsets later for the same price that they are now. Where I got to get the Quest 3 now. It's $100 less. Why would I not? If I was Meta, that's what I would do.
I also read that PlayStation, and this was not from PlayStation saying this is what we need to do. It was from professionals in the industry saying that if they're not focusing on a price cut, they're in trouble. So they got to reduce the price of the headset. And it's weird because you still have to own the PS5
Well, that's the thing they
to
need.
play it. So it's like you can't all of a sudden slash the price on the PS5 to sell VR headsets. It just can't.
They need a well-priced bundle.
Can't do that.
They need a very well-priced bundle of both for $6.99 or something like that.
$6.99. Get out.
I know.
There's no way. That's a dream.
$8.99.
Dude, I woke up this morning. I had to
$7.99. $7.99.
I bought a bundle for $600.
$7.99. I know it's unrealistic, but if we're gonna say the only way that they can crush sales is like that, that's the only way.
They gotta slash that headset,
That's
or
the
just
only
make
way.
it a free add-on, like the old mics in the Xbox days.
Oh, no
Comes
way
with
you
a
could do that.
microphone.
You said no way to my $6.99, and then you're saying free add-on.
Here's the deal: you still have to own a PS5. So how much are they willing? Is it financially worth it to just give one away with every PS5 just to have the headsets there and then charge for the apps with the percentage of money they make from the game apps? Just know your place on the food chain.
That would
How
be
gangster would that be though if they were just like, you know what?
That's my argument for doing a cheap bundle. It's like, because then you can make it up. I don't know about giving the whole headset for free, but
Their bread
like
and butter is getting those
$6.99 bundle.
PS5s.
Dude, if Sony came out with a $6.99 bundle for PS5 and PSVR2, would you think about it?
I mean, I thought about this one, but it's
so then you go,
price.
well, dude, then I have a PS5 and a headset for $6. That would be the only way I think that they can. Otherwise, they're stuck at $250K. They're stuck at those type of numbers every quarter. That's just the fact.
Well, right now they're gonna be.
Yeah, unless they make a change in that regard. I think a bundle, because I think the current PlayStation users.
If PSVR2 is affordable, then we'd be talking about it on an episode every week.
I think a lot of the people that are going to buy PlayStation VR2 who already own a PS5 have already bought the PSVR2. I think that they need to try to expand to the...
Yeah, there ain't no way to do that.
It's tough. Easy for me to
You're
sit
not
here.
selling me a headset. You're selling me a game console. So the headset should come for free.
I don't know what the price point that they can do.
Don't care what anybody's argument to that is either. Because really, I don't own a PS5.
Again,
so what am I buying?
Yeah, I think a well-priced bundle is a good compromise on that. I don't think that they can afford to completely subsidize and eat the headset for free after all that R&D and just off software costs. But I just think it's ironic. You told me a $6.99 is out of this world as a bundle, and then you came out and said something twice as outrageous.
Right?
And you told me what I said was outrageous, and you go,
"Well, I don't think they're good." Oh, to give it away?
Yeah,
I just think it makes more sense.
Oh no, I think a bundle, because then you're getting half the cost on the headset, and then like you said,
250,000 headsets. How much did they spend in marketing just to?
Oh, they didn't market that shit at all. They did very bad in the marketing.
They spend money on advertisement.
Barely. I didn't see that.
What's barely? How many millions is barely?
Did you see one commercial or ad for it? The only marketing I saw was through a couple content creators.
And so then I saw a legit ad.
I didn't see any ad. I didn't see any. They barely pushed it at their. You go and look at the Sony like game showcases, and every like showcase they've done the last 2 years, they barely showed it off.
The warning signs of knowing they were gonna.
So that's a little on them too. They, if you ask me, their marketing was non-existent on the headset.
Well, thank God. You only sold 250,000, and I'm not shitting on them.
Well, you can't say that. Maybe it wouldn't have been 250K.
If I sold 250,000 of anything, I'd be, high fiving all day long.
Yeah, but you're
hugging strangers.
But when you're Sony,
no man,
they have so many employees.
You can't tell me they're not taking a financial bath on that.
Well, again, it's the cost of a PlayStation 5 plus the cost of a headset. A well-priced bundle would solve that, in my opinion.
I don't like bundles.
I like bundles.
I like the free. What do you think? The microphones they gave out back in the day were free with the nice Xbox headsets?
I don't think they cost nearly as much as...
I'm just saying it wasn't free.
What
right?
was the Kinect? the Xbox, like the motion?
Yeah.
It was called Kinect, right? With a K?
Have that, yes.
I think that camera. I think they gave that free with the system at one point.
Yep. That's how I got mine.
But I can't imagine that was anything in R&D and hardware manufacturing costs to a PlayStation VR2.
I'm not going to compare it to current VR, but let's go back in time and look at how much it was priced. But what that thing freaking does and how it does it is
it's good.
It's freaky, man. It's really freaky.
But it was
you think your house is clean? Turn to one of the camera settings on that, and you'll be like, "Holy shit, what's going on?"
Yeah, but Microsoft was kind of just bringing existing technology into a
And these were
consumer
also
device.
back in the days where they were selling their devices at losses left and right. There was no money coming in for the actual.
Well, I think that's my argument on a subsidized bundle is, look, the concept of subsidizing
You say
a
bundle,
headset-
I say free.
yeah, hey, I'll
I'll
why
go
you're
to
shooting for the home run, but
'Cause
I'm
I
being
just-
reasonable.
I don't know, man.
The concept of subsidizing hardware is not new. To make it up in software costs, that was like the name of the game growing up. That's always how I heard it was. So I don't know. That would be cool. Like I said, if I gave two little, terrible business advices. If Meta wants to dominate the holiday season, they do a 2-month cheaper price point.
Take a loss for
And
2
if
months.
Sony wants to actually sell some headsets, they need to do a bundle, a cheap bundle, like a well
And I'll
consumer.
disagree and say
They
free.
need to give it free. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's see.
Free, baby. Now with every PS5 sold but you call me crazy, right? But what if they did that from October to
Oh, I'd have
Christmas?
a PS5.
Get some. Boom! I just put a fucking.
But I would do it
brand
with a
new
bundle.
console
I would
into
probably
your
buy
hand.
the bundle too. If they did a bundle, I would probably buy
You'd
it.
say, okay, you'd probably buy it. But if it was from October 31st
Yeah.
to
So Sony
Christmas
needs to decide if that probably to 100%
till
is
Christmas
worth it.
Day, they'll
Yeah.
even take orders on Christmas Day. Maybe you
Yeah.
got a gift certificate. Get a free VR
Oh,
headset.
dude,
you already said it. You're like, I no question
Yeah.
about it. So my idea is ludicrous, but it'll at the end of the day we'll sell the headsets, and then they can go. You know what? We need to redirect.
Just for 2 months, we're gonna offer this promotion. I want to see
We
Meta.
need
and
to
Sony
redirect and live off the percentage of game store costs that we're
for
taking
2 months.
from the
For
developers.
2 months, we'll do this deal.
Gangster
Just until
moves.
Christmas.
And if Meta did the same shit with taking the hit on the Q3, then now we're going to see the ultimate in VR.
Let's go. Let's bring the holiday
is-
2023 headset
is-
wars. Let's go.
going to be good, brother.
Let's go. This is
going down.
This is like WWF, WCW, Monday Night War. Like,
But it's
let's go.
dude, no joke. You have it's so good.
Holidays
that,
coming up. It's the time to plan.
it's so good that if I could put a headset on to watch it in VR go down, I would, because it would be two of the most gangster moves
Oh my God.
that really, let's be honest, the two most major players in commercialized VR for the masses could each make a statement just
Go to war for the
Dude.
holiday season.
just for those 2 months.
And in my opinion, it would be like when
So my free idea is genius.
if both of them did that, you know how like Burger King and McDonald's open up next to each other, both do better in business?
Yeah.
I don't think they would hurt each other in holiday sales too. I think it would just VR would blow the hell
Okay.
up.
I proved it.
I would buy both.
You're already buying a Q3,
Yeah.
right? You already know that. Everybody knows it. You're buying it day one. We're
And I
going to
could
have
sell
Q3s.
my friends on it if it was reduced
So now
price
for
2 months.
and you don't have a PS5, but if for 2 months you comes with the free headset, you guaranteed are buying a PS5. So all parties win. I don't want a PS5
And you would
necessarily
buy it.
to spend money because I need to be buying the new Xbox, but I would buy a PS5 regardless of the fact. So I'll just have the Xbox upstairs and the PS5 downstairs. Problem solved. But that's the only way you're going to get me to buy a PS5. If I was like, holy shit, they're going to give me VR headset with it. How many consoles
And then
are they going to sell?
Then I would be eating dirt about saying they don't grow the VR industry with the PSVR2 because that would grow the amount of VR users so much.
Yeah, you'd have so many people who are like,
And Meta subsidized their headset for 2 months with $100 off.
world domination right there. If they did that and there was no, let's see how it plays out.
If I was Sony and Meta right now, I would be meeting and say, let's coordinate a war. We're going to war for the holiday season. Both of us are going to win.
No, coordinate about it. They sent us the message. We said it on the mic. Oh, is this still on?
Could you imagine? No. Hey, I'm totally down to be
we were not shilled by either one
no,
for any
no,
amounts
this
of
is-
money to start a war. But that's personally how I would do it.
No,
if I were,
on both
you know.
ends, 100%. If I was them, I'd be meeting in the back rooms going, look, holidays 8 months away.
There's no meeting, nothing. It's like you're gonna find out when it leaks like everything else that, hey, just so you know, Meta's thinking about taking a little price hit. And hey, did you know Sony might fucking give away free headsets for 2
Imagine
months?
if Pico breaks in the
Even
market.
30 days, dude.
Imagine if Pico breaks into North America for the holiday season and joins as it's a triple threat, and they have
can't. They'll get chewed. Let this play out. Otherwise, you're gonna be the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, you're saying this is headline pay-per-view Sony.
You don't want no
versus
beef
Meta.
in this. This is not a 3-way that you're gonna come out looking good in. It's like
The reason I say meet in the back room is because, again, I think all parties would win. The consumer wins.
Yeah,
Sony sales a bunch. Meta wins a bunch.
I bet you 2 CEOs can't do that legally.
Why not?
Well, because you're not labeled entertainment. You're labeled like tech and all. I'm just thinking.
I'm just saying. But you know what? I hate when
regardless,
stuff like
I'd
that
still
makes
do
the
it. I don't
consumer
need a meeting.
lose. Yeah. Let's go.
Boom, you're going to
holiday
find out
season 8 months away.
You catch wind from one of the corporate spies that's telling you, you know, oh my God, you have no idea what they're going to do.
The holiday season VR wars. Let's go.
You could make it a yearly thing.
Or I don't think that we'll see hardware releases every year. Like, oh, just do discounts and stuff.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I think it would be an exciting 2023, and I think it would boost. But it's all, you know, the holiday's going to come around, and they're going to bundle.
It'd be the first time I'd be looking at Xbox. Like,
both parties are just going to bundle a game or two and then call it a day. I already know.
What are you going to do?
They're gonna throw in like freaking Horizon World Horizon Zero Horizon, whatever.
What are you talking about?
What's that PlayStation VR?
Humana.
It's called Horizon Zero Dawn. There we go.
Oh, okay.
I never played any of the Horizon games. That's the thing. It's not my series. That's like PS5's big launch title for PSVR2. So they'll probably bundle that in for free, and Meta will give you like Pop 1 for free, something lazy like that. But I'm telling you, dude.
No, as far as this one goes, this is the way to do it.
If they want to do it, exactly. If they want to do it right, that's how you do it. I'm saying
could even,
now.
Dude, since you can bet on anything, you bet on wind speed somewhere, but you could actually have bets on who's going to sell the most. Who's going to sell the most? Because both are going to come out the winners at the end of the day.
I'd be covering it weekly.
Because I don't believe the money's in the actual product. I think the big money's in people
software.
buying. Yeah,
30% cut on sales. Yeah,
it's like, get the hell out of here. I know how this is really working. My brain can crunch those numbers, and it works out in your favor. Unless I'm never gonna play a game for the Let's be honest. I own a PS5. I'm gonna fucking play flat screen games. There's a whole bunch I want to play. I want my Gran Turismo. Can't play it. And like, I'm never gonna play a VR game, so I'm never gonna play Beat Saber. The ultimate gangster move is if you owned. This is like so shady, but neither company would go for it. But if you bought Beat Saber on PS5 and you own a Quest 3 or Quest 2, you own it.
Yeah, that's not the only. That's the argument.
Cross-play purchase.
That's why people like Steam. That's why people like Steam. That's why people are excited.
But that would
for
be
like
a gangster
HTC
move. That if both the companies were feeling desperate because somebody did slide into the market, they can come together, work together, and be like, you know, we can chew these guys up in one.
If I was HTC, that's the aspect I would be trying to market more. Like, hey, you buy a, you know, although they probably aren't.
Small. They're smaller.
Yeah.
Niche market.
But yeah, no, Meta and Sony will never do that.
Don't say never.
Yeah.
I remember when the money was given to Apple way back in the day, they were hurting. They were going belly up, and Gates was like, I got you.
Got you, brother.
Cut you a check. Yeah. How much you need? How many millions do you need? Because it needed to keep the competition alive. But I mean, think about
how many
that.
fruit platters you need, Steve Jobs? Because I know you're a fruit guy.
Technically, there'd be no freaking iPhone if it wasn't for some of those. Yeah. And those were moves you never saw coming.
Well, again, I think a quote unquote holiday war would push both companies to such highs. It would be very good. But hey, so that was a pretty fun Monday morning news, or maybe this week in VR, or any other suggestion you guys want to throw in the comments on YouTube. You know, email us, write it in our Discord. I'm very open to suggestions. But on Wednesday, we are ready to review Vacation Simulator. And then we'll probably take a couple weeks on Cosmonious High, because my understanding of it is Cosmonious High is extremely in-depth, so I doubt we'll be able to get a review ready, 1 week later. We'll do the time to do it properly, so don't be surprised if there's maybe 1 or 2 games in between. But, after Vacation Sim, we'll start chipping away at Cosmonious High. So I'm excited to get Wednesday's review out there, and then my understanding is go to school for Cosmonious. It'll be interesting.
If you can be a bully.
Oh, I'm so curious.
You have to have bullies because it's just the way shit was.
Well,
it obviously still is.
I'll save it for Wednesday with Vacation Sim's review, but you can already see the groundwork for social interaction with the waving at the bot edition in Vacation Sim. It's like, oh, well, if they expand on that.
They had that in Job Sim.
Yeah, but it's really utilized.
Oh, yeah,
It's like...
hello, how many more characters?
Yeah, we'll get into it on Wednesday. It's like, you didn't really necessarily ever need to wave anybody in jobs.
Your
Sam in
character
vacation.
interaction was pretty limited.
Yeah, but nonetheless, so we'll
Other
get
than,
into it on Wednesday. But I'm excited for the Cosmonius wrap up. But like I said, just I don't want to lie to anybody. Don't expect us to have that ready next week or anything like that. So hope you enjoy this episode. Like I said, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, check out the Discord, engage with us on social media, tell your VR friends about us, and we'll check you out on Wednesday.